Well, hello guys and girls, welcome to my show. I put up another video every Friday about something else. Sometimes I'm fixing cars, sometimes we're going to places. So today we're sitting in my 1976 240D Mercedes, and we are next to Atlanta right now. I'm working in Atlanta as a pilot and based here for a little while longer, and there is a place what I wanted to show you guys. One of my first officer actually did a video on that, and I said like maybe I need to go and look at this place. So right now we are just about 20 miles outside of Atlanta. It's like in the outskirts. My GPS is taking me around instead of going through the jungle in the middle of Atlanta because there's like all kind of traffic jams and freeways with tons of cars. So we're just taking this nice scenic route, and we are heading to classic car graveyard today. Well, we just got here. I just hope they're not gonna put the Mercedes inside the fence, so I'm gonna turn it off and take the key and lock it. I'll leave the little 240D behind, and let's go inside. There's all kind of cool stuff out here. I'm gonna go in and buy the ticket and then start looking around. There's a nice couch there too, so you can sit down, and another Cadillac just casually sitting here. Well, here we are. So the way this place started is there was a general store at the other side of the street, and then they started a junkyard, and that junkyard was going for a while, and then one day the owner said, I just want to make like a historical park where I can show off all these cars, and I think I'm gonna stop selling all the parts out of them. So he made this. This is like I think it said 30 acres worth of cars. So I know for sure I'm not gonna be able to show you guys all of them, but I'm gonna show you enough so you understand the scale of the things what's here. I know some of you are watching me from Europe and other parts of the world, so yeah, this is America for you. So it's not a common thing what you see here. So this is a place in Georgia, not too far from the city of Atlanta. You gotta go to the outskirts and maybe like 30 minutes, 40 minutes out of Atlanta. And yeah, if you ever come this way, make sure you stop by and look at this. You have to see it to believe it, or you just this video will not do justice what you can see here. Under this place is all engines, all of them. Like this, they're just sitting on the ground and rotting away. So I guess that was part of the junkyard when it was still operational. These are not only American cars, like this little Renault here. Well, the question is, how did it get here? Of course, it was exported when Renault was still exporting cars to this country. And there are all kind of other interesting relics what you can find here. There are several Volkswagens, of course. It was a very popular choice of vehicle in the US. There were Beetles and buses, and there are several older buses as well in very sad shape. So I know you probably would think that it would be nice to save some of these cars because they were nice, but at the other hand, this is what it is. This is where they come to die. So I don't think it's a good way to think that these cars could be saved, although anything can be fixed up if you put enough money in it. But none of these cars are actually for sale. They just left here to die, I guess. The sheer size of this place is mind-boggling, so I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna be able to take a video of all of them because of the time constraints, but I can give you a little bit of example what's here. I'm pretty sure you guys remember the Ford Capri, and they actually did export those cars into the US, and there is one right here, a little bit used and worn. No rear axle, but here it is. I know they were 4-cylinder versions and V6 versions as well when they were new. Before the minivans, this was the transportation choice for families, a nice big station wagon. And there's a very special car right next to it, a 1956 Buick. I do have a special which throwing flames, and her name is Betsy. This one is a 4-door version of that car lying here. There are some European or Japanese cars also existing here, like there is an Opel. Yeah, this one is an Opel Kadett or Olympia, probably the way they said it. And then yeah, there's another Bug or Beetle. And then if you're going forward, there is another Beetle with a little MG behind it. Not sure it's an MG or a Nissan, but one of the other. And then there's an Audi. Yeah, for my German friends. It's not an everyday scene in Germany either anymore. Followed by a station wagon Toyota. Other Toyotas, which is really rare. I don't think I ever seen those here anymore because they all gone. They were good cars, but they all ended up here. And then one more Volkswagen. So I got to remind you that this is an American junkyard, sort of, and not something what you see in Europe. There is a Carmen Ghia sitting there. Next to it another Toyota, but I think we're gonna go to the other side in a second. Yeah, it's very exciting to see all these cars. It's kind of sad at the same time, and we have to basically come to terms with it that we are not gonna be able to fix any of this up. Here's a 59 Cadillac, just basically covered with all this debris, followed by a nice old Mercedes Heckflosse. I think that's how you say it. It's the big Mercedes. There was a smaller version which I had in Hungary. I had a 190D when I was young. Here's a DeSoto, I think from the mid-50s. And then another Toyota, followed by a Renault. Yeah, I haven't seen one of these for like 20 years. A Renault. There is a Volkswagen wagon in the bush. And then there's also gonna be some American relics. There is an old school bus up there. And as we go forward, there are some really old cars here too. Like this Oldsmobile with the tree grown out of the front of it. Look at that tree. Isn't that something? There are some Fords and Oldsmobile and other older 50s cars. There's another Buick there. As you can see, the front grille of that Buick is just incredibly pretty. That waterfall grille on the front. Yeah, I always like to see that. There are a circle of cars here, starting with an Edsel, with a nice DeSoto, a Chevy, an old Cadillac, and so on. Ooh, look at this one, this really old one. It looks like a Pontiac. And then keep going in the circle. Some of these cars are buried under these tree spikes. There's a Nash. Yeah, that was a long time ago. You're able to see these cars and every day in America. It's a Custom Royale. That's a beautiful car. And in the back you can see the fins. That's some sort of fins. I love fins. And there, if you see, that whole area is just full of them. Maybe going forward you can see a few more. There's always more here. You just keep walking and you can see more and more and more. This is like a never-ending story. So I probably could spend a good 4 hours here taking videos of every one of them. Look at a 59 Impala in the back. Behind the bush, in front of it, there's a Buick here. Yeah, I had a few Buicks in my life. A Packard. It's supposed to have a nice big chrome bird on the front. Wow, there's a nice station wagon over there. No more windows in it. And a 56 Buick, another one. With a AC version in it. Wow. It's actually have the original AC in it. I've never seen that before. Nice. Mine is just like that, but with no AC in it. I know there was an option for it in 56. It's in the manual how to service it, but I've never actually seen one. So if you're ever in the Atlanta area and you're a car guy, make it to a point to make it out here. There's a good restaurant, a little tiny bitty restaurant right at the other side of the street from here, where you can have lunch. And it's just like a nice walk in the park. If you come at summertime, get ready because it's incredibly hot and humid, and then maybe you're gonna see some snakes also. So just be mindful about that walking around, because these are excellent hiding places for snakes. Ooh, that was a Buick convertible. Yeah, if you're an old car guy, it's either heaven or hell, because you want to really fix all of these cars up. You know, you have the idea like, oh man, what can I do with this? But yeah, you gotta forfeit that idea, because these cars came here to die, and they're not here to get repaired. So basically you can come and look at them and see how they decay, and like this. Oh man, yeah, a nice Packard Clipper, and then an Edsel, another Ford. Yeah, so you can fix anything up if you put your mind into it. Just takes enough money and time to do it, which both of them are expensive. To me, at least, the time is expensive. Money you always can make more, but time, you can't make more time. That's the problem. So whenever I have a project, I always think about the time I put in it. And I can't really say invest in it, because there's no return on the investment, because old cars rarely ever gives you any back unless you consider driving them and making you feel better, which they certainly do. So I'm really excited to drive something after I fix them up and actually they start and I can drive them. You see, this like an endless amount of cars here. This is absolutely crazy. A Mercury. Yeah, gotta be careful where you step. I'm trying to watch the camera at the same time. There's all these branches and debris, so it's like an active forest, I would say. We're taking its territory back. These cars were just placed here. Some of them were placed here like a long time ago. So this was the first part of the junkyard, what they said they started up at, and then they added to it with a 1970s section. But these are very interesting to see for me. I love these old things. There are more round nests. There's a different design. But although we had a lot of development in new car development, so these cars are not as safe as the new ones. So no airbags, no seat belts, practically no nothing. So I consider these the same as a motorcycle. When I'm driving around in an old car, I kind of accept the fact that if there's an accident, I don't have too much of a chance for survival. You never know. I have several cars with no seat belts on. Well, these are a little bit of a newer section here, so we're gonna go back and chase down some European cars. I came behind the trees here to see these European cars. Of course, two Volkswagens. Here's the convertible Carmen Ghia, probably all rotten. Oh, it is not a Carmen Ghia. I'm so sorry. It looks like a Fiat Spider, maybe. No, it's not a Fiat Spider. What the heck is it? It's really hard to figure it out. It might be an MG. What does it show inside? Well, that's a British car. I can see that much, so it might be a Spitfire or some sort of thing like that. It's really hard to see that when you got so much debris on it and missing parts. There are some more Volkswagens. Looks like a convertible Volkswagen because they chopped the roof off. There is another one. And this one looks like a Toyota, maybe. Yeah, it's a Toyota Corona. Wow, that was a long time ago. And I had one of these, an Opel Manta. Yep, we put a fuel injected engine in it from a newer one, and you can see the original shock absorber is still in it. Looks like an ice cream cone. What this one is, I don't know. And I guess that's it for the European parts. Oh, there is one more Volkswagen there, we've seen it earlier. And if you look at the other side, the total opposite end of the spectrum, an Imperial. which made by Chrysler. It's like a never-ending story here. A sport about. That's a way to describe a hatchback, which is not a station wagon, not a hatchback. Another Ford in the left. So anywhere we look, there's something interesting here. It's really exciting to me to see these. I hope you guys enjoying what you see here too. Although I know some of you really like shiny cars, nice new cars, and that's okay. I like that too. I'm kind of like I eat anything basically. Not too picky about stuff. But look at this rear grille. Isn't that something? Nice. And there's some more. Look like it's a typical junkyard where they throw all the cars on one pile, and then there you go. So as long as you can see, there are cars here. It's just like on and on and on, and one after another. So this is something what I can't show you like all the way through. I just can show you bits and pieces out of it. There are a bunch of vans here, mostly Dodges. I also seen some Fords earlier. There's all kind of vans. They're kind of similar size of a Volkswagen Beetle, Volkswagen van. I'm sorry, not a Beetle. And then oh, there's a Ford. I don't know how much can you see through the debris. I also just bought a Corvair van. Ooh, this place collapsed. And there's a Fairlane, looks like a 57 Fairlane convertible on top of it. Crazy. Yeah, I just bought a Chevy Corvair van, which has the flat 6 engine in it. I'm really excited to make it work, and so I can drive it around. Well, it's a nice day to walk in the forest and find a really nice Volkswagen Transporter. Well, I think it still would be doable, but again, there's nothing for sale here. Bang, sorry about that. Here's the front of it. Yeah, it's sad, but at the other hand, if it wouldn't be here, it would be probably in China already. Probably been to China 3 times already since then, and it would be like refrigerator or some gas stove or who knows what, but Chinese making out of all these scraps. So a lot of these cars actually ended up in a scrapyard, and then they've been taken over to China, and then they recycled them, and then they came back in some form of new product what we use every day. I had to stop here. This is a original shagging wagon. Look at that. This was the shag carpet all the way around. Yay. Nice. And it ended up here too. Ooh, that little crash must have been hurtful, but looks like maybe the front occupant was okay in it. That's how cars getting into junkyards, when they actually get involved in an accident or something. There's another little Volkswagen bus, but it's not all that old, but it's still probably pretty expensive in Europe. There are some more cars. For some reason they actually in the covered area, not sure why. And this is the front of the whole place. And there is some other car what caught my eye, what I want to look at. Ooh, this thing is nice. This is a gigantic Lincoln. Look at this sign on the side. It says Lincoln Premier. There's another Cadillac. A front wheel drive Torino. And this thing over here. Look at this, poor thing. Well, first off, how did it get here? That's my first question. It looks like a Renault to me. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, it's a Caraval. Renault Caraval. Man, look at that. The whole thing is just collapsed, most likely from the rust. There's the convertible. Top is in there still. Here's the engine on the back, and then the whole back part. And then you can probably see inside. So yeah, this is not a usual car. It's pretty sad that it's actually ended up here, but I guess when it was a new car, it was just another car, and a small car from all between all these giants. Now look at this Chevy, looks like a 57. Had a tree growing out of the front on the grill. Yeah, exciting. And how about that one next to it? There's a tree growing out on the through the windshield. Yeah, this car is it's been here for a while. I hope you guys enjoyed what you've seen and enjoyed our little tour. And I just if I would do 2 hours out of this, yeah, I don't think that would show you anything more. Ooh, a Sunbeam Tiger. Yeah. Everywhere you look there is something exciting, and a flathead V8 in front of it on that truck. Yeah, we better just leave, because we're just never gonna be able to leave if I keep looking at places. So please send me some messages. Tell me, which car did you like the best? What do you think about places like this? And if you have some cars which you're not using and you know you're not gonna be able to fix it, then maybe you should consider selling it to someone who actually probably could enjoy it or make something out of it. I really hope that my racing turtle is still in the parking lot and hasn't been assimilated into the jungle here or into the forest here, because it's right in the age when it would look good. But now we're gonna hop into the racing turtle and I'm gonna go back to work. I got a Houston turn out of Atlanta tonight, and then keep on trucking. So again, thank you for watching, and see you guys next Friday with something else. Bye.